OMG, have you ever had someone say something that you don't agree with? Okay, it's going down. We're talking about feedback. 3 concepts that I introduced last week around feedback. Feedback you understand, you don't understand, feedback you don't agree with. Today, we want to focus on feedback that you don't agree with. Welcome to the Basics of Bossing Up. I'm Allie Love, where we discuss basic principles in order to create the lives we want and ultimately we deserve. We're talking about feedback you don't agree with. So of all the 3, when I broke down feedback in that last previous video, of all the 3 types of feedbacks, there's only one type of feedback that's bad. It's not the feedback we're talking about today. Today, feedback that you don't agree with does not mean it's bad. OMG, put that across the screen. Feedback you don't agree with doesn't mean it's bad feedback. In order for feedback to truly work, we have to position ourselves to lean in, to be receptive, and to learn about those dark spaces, those uncomfortable areas of who we are. And so in this video, I ask you to be present. I ask you to lean in and be receptive to what I'm going to talk about. I have been in meetings, I've had conversations with loved ones where they offer solicited feedback that I don't necessarily agree with. There are times where I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with that because I'm not like that. No, you got it wrong. That's how you are. I start to deflect. I start to disassociate myself. I start to do some of these behaviors in order to protect my ego, to protect myself. But reality of all of this is that if we don't decide to be candid and open to feedback from those that we work with, those that we surround ourselves with, and those that we love, we will never grow. And so I encourage you that as you start to solicit feedback around how you have been engaging virtually, how you have been managing virtually, how you have been connecting to your family and balancing and or not balancing work and life, as you start to receive some of this solicited feedback, some of these requests to share, how it has been to work with you or to be with you, I encourage you to be as receptive as possible. Feedback by definition is available for us to get visibility on those things we may not be keen on. So it is important that we decide to get a little uncomfortable. And I know that that's something that everyone says all the time, like get uncomfortable. But sincerely, when I mean get uncomfortable, it's not just to hear things you don't agree with, or it's not to hear bad things. It's not to put you in a position where you're confused. What I mean by that is put you in a position to question, why do people think I'm this way? Why are they having an experience that's disconnected with what I'm offering? And so when you get feedback that you don't agree with, the first thing I encourage you to do is to thank that person for being vulnerable enough, even if you felt like they were a little harsh, but thank that person for caring about you, about the company, about the relationship enough to offer you some challenging feedback, some challenging information, some challenging insight. Because on the opposite side of that conversation, it's not always easy to give someone words that they know are going to potentially make someone else uncomfortable, right? So we want to flip the script a little bit and always thank the person who's providing us the feedback for being strong and vulnerable at the same time to give us a look at who we are from their perspective or from other people's perspective. The second thing I strongly encourage is that you write down this feedback you don't agree with. I think the next thing after that, after you write it down, is to mull it over. Really take time and say, am I like this? And if you come up with a big no or still a big question mark, and not to say you won't say, oh, I kind of am like this. No, it's if you're coming up with a big question mark, it's okay. It is okay. Start to lean into those that you love, those that know you the best. And they may not be there as your colleague at work. However, they get to see you in many situations. So lean into your love squad. Lean into those, your partner, your friends, your family, and vice versa. If the feedback is coming from a partner, lean into your coworkers who you build personal relationships with and ask them. Start to solicit and compile and crowdsource additional feedback around something you don't agree with. And then while you're getting those perspectives, what ends up happening is that you'll end up being equipped. They will equip you on how to react better, how to respond better, how to be a better partner at work, virtually, at home. And so again, of all the 3 types of feedback you don't agree with is not bad feedback. It's actually great feedback. It's for you to take a greater, deeper look into who you are, to see how you can show up even more, not only for yourself, but for those around you. Write it down. Literally mull it over. Take time to think about it, and then lean on to those who know you the best and see what other tools that you can gather to make sure you're starting to make those changes. And it's going to be a rolling change. It's going to be a slow change. Don't expect overnight. And the expectation isn't when you get feedback that all of a sudden the next day you're a new person. That's not reality. Another thing I will say, and I'll leave you with this final thing around this video of feedback. And feedback you don't understand, whoever is offering you this type of insight, after you thank them, write it down, think about it, lean on your love squad, sincerely return to them and offer them actionable items that you're going to do to get better in this area. And the reason I say that is so that they can share that journey with you, especially if it's an employer or an employee, especially if it's a partner, anyone. You want to do it together. Just remember, you're not here to try to make yourself better. This is a conversation. This is two-way. We're here to get better together. All right, that's the basics of bossing up. Comment below. Peace and love, y'all. See you later.